Welcome back to Laugh Through the Turbulence. We are previewing the Jets at Cardinals game coming up this weekend.
Hey, New York Jet fans from all around the world. Welcome to Laugh Through the Turbulence, a New York Jets podcast.
Laugh Through the Turbulence, a New York Jets podcast.
To Laugh Through the Turbulence, a New York Jets podcast.
At Laugh Through the Turbulence, John Lovitz here.
Go Jets.
Yeah, we'll see.
A serious game that's coming up against a team that's on the rise. Here's our little preview for the game. Back to Laugh Through the Turbulence, where being a Jets fan feels like going through a shredder on repeat. Just when you think you're in one piece, here comes the next game. This week, we're off to Arizona to face a surprisingly strong Cardinals team. They've taken down top teams like the Niners, Bears, Rams, Chargers, and even a Tua-led Dolphins team, while keeping it close against juggernauts like the Bills and Lions. They are currently leading the NFC West, which, let's be real, makes this game feel a lot less like the easy W we penciled in back in the preseason. It's a showdown of two poverty franchises. The last time the Jets beat the Cardinals was in 2012 in a slugfest that ended 7-6. But in 2008, Brett Favre had that legendary 6-touchdown game against them. Let's hope that our latest cheesehead QB can channel that magic for us. It's interesting that the last, the Favre game, right, was against the Cardinals, right? You think Rodgers tries to one-up him on that one?
I don't think he's thinking about it that hard. I mean, maybe he is. Maybe that might be the key to greatness, is being that obsessive. I mean, we've heard of that. Like guys like Kobe were that petty. Jordan. Guys like that. So I wouldn't put it past Rodgers, but I don't know. He just seems so like kind of lax and just kind of whatever. Like he's competitive, but he's not like obsessive competitive, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's thinking that hard of it. He's just trying to win at this point. We're just trying to win at all costs by this point.
Whatever it takes to win at this point,
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. So just to recap, because Jets are 1-point dogs going into this game, which is very interesting. And basically it says neutral field, Jets are the better team, but it's in Arizona, and they're actually closer than we think. And that makes sense. Cardinals are top of the division right now. I don't think anyone had that penciled in at any point of the season.
Do you have the odds and all the other line information?
Fuck it, why not? Since we are gambling, right? Let's find out real quick. All right, so I said obviously it was 1 point, right? Cardinals are favorite. It's probably going to be high. I'm guessing it's going to be like 48.5.
I think it's a 45.
45.5.
45.5.
Which actually I think is crazy low. I think that's crazy low, considering that the Cardinals' offense is their strength right now, right? Especially running the ball, right? Jets'
throwing offense is their strength.
Yes, right. And Cardinals' defense is really bad, right? But they're gonna just blow us up somehow, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think the over is the play in this game.
Yeah,
I'm gonna lock that in after this show.
I think so too, man. I think that's not a bad play at all, because it's just, Kyler Murray, I guess we should just get into it, because, I just think Kyler Murray's going to run all over this team. We saw Drake May run on us. This team has just failed to contain the run or spy properly. Even with the addition of Reddick, who's kind of supposed to be a serviceable run defender, last night there was gap integrity issues. CJ Stroud was able to kind of run around a compromised gap, Reddick's style of kind of rushing in, going for the stack. He's obviously going for his stats and, probably foregoing the run a little bit in that case. So we've seen it allow, CJ Stroud to run, and I think Kyler Murray is a much more experienced and better runner than CJ Stroud. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Kyler Murray is slippery as fuck. But yeah, go ahead, since I did a lot of talking earlier.
Yeah, no, I think that that's the problem. I still don't trust the discipline of this defense to not let Kyler Murray run for 150 yards, because like Monty said, Hassan Reddick has no interest in anything other than sacks. And if he's, not playing contain, if he's, making an attempt to just get to Kyler at all costs, he's going to make him pay. And then once he gets the running game going, the second he starts to take off, now the linebackers are going to start creeping up, and that's going to leave the middle of the field wide open for Trey McBride. This is the worst type of offense the Jets can play against because the quarterback can move. And not just move, but is
Move
fast.
well.
Yeah, and wants to run. So I just think that on the offensive side, and just take Kyler out of the equation for a minute, they still have James Conner is excellent. Trey Benson is coming on. This team wants to run the football and then get you to creep up and then hit the middle of the field with McBride and then over the top with Marvin Harrison.
Jr.,
and I think the weakness of this team is the coverage of the linebackers and the safeties. And I think McBride is absolutely going to eat in this game.
I can totally see some more scenarios like that 4th and 2 where Reddick rushes in and fucks up the gap, and then Stroud just was gone for 12 yards on that play. And now you put Kyler Murray's wheels in that situation, and he's juking and shucking and jiving for another extra 5 on top of that, on top of what CJ would have gotten. So
what's crazy about Kyler Murray? Okay, so his passing this year has actually been pretty decent. He's got an 11.3 INT ratio.
His legs set up to pass.
They do. And also the other crazy stat, McBride leads the team in receptions and targets. Bear in mind that Marvin Harrison Jr. was out for a couple games, but interesting.
Yeah, he's been a little of a disappointment, but he's still amazing. I think he'll end up being great.
It's the setup of the team. It's run first.
Yeah, it's just not there
yet. He is a talent. He has a talent, though. And McBride has 0 touchdowns.
That'll change this week. If you're gonna bet a prop, bet McBride touchdown.
One rushing touchdown.
Do you think this is a team where we should have Sauce shadow Harrison Jr., or do you think that we have what it takes to kind of be our more open, defensive style where we kind of have guys flipping coverage and doing these more exotic?
At this point, man, I'd rather have DJ Reed shadowing him because Sauce has lost a lot of my confidence. He's regressed, and I don't know, man. He worries me a little bit now where I thought that was the one guy on the defense where you're just set it and forget it, right? And now it's, if he's not getting beat, it's a backbreaking penalty or, another thing about this Cardinals offense, they're going to run at him, and he's going to have to tackle, right? And that's another piece of it. I still think Sauce is a very good player, but, there are some cracks that are starting to show. Hopefully it's just, some sort of lull he's in and he'll break out of the funk, but I don't know, and I think that's another thing that the Jets defense didn't count on, right, is having to worry about Sauce. And that changes a lot of what they can do on defense if he isn't his normal shutdown self. So that's a concerning thing, but the main thing is going to be containing Kyler somehow, because as good as he has been passing the ball, I would much rather see him throwing than running. Because if he's running a lot, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say this. Cardinals have been pretty beat up on defense. Especially so it does open up for like a Priest game and a Braylon Allen game, actually.
Yeah, their defense is not scary at all, but I just think they can score. I think they can score faster than we can.
2 DTs on IR, and another one was out last week. It's pretty bad. But I mean, we're also banged up going to this game too. I mean, I guess ABT will be questionable, right? Ashton Davis and Tony Adams were out last game, but they're not on IR, so that's interesting if they can come back. Because honestly, the safety play since Tony Adams has been out, holy shit, it's been bad.
It's been terrible. Yeah,
And
safety was a weakness going in, and it's just still a weakness.
Yeah, and Chuck Clark wouldn't be eligible to return until the Colts game, which, by the way, got moved to Sunday day instead of Sunday night because no one wants to see that show.
Thank God.
Yeah. No one wants to see that shit show on prime time.
Michael Carter will be questionable, of course. Right, and all that. Simpson will be questionable because he had a groin, I think, or something like that. Yeah, a groin. And then I mean those are the big ones. Michael Carter, because that would be your slot, which is going to cover your tight end, right? He's great, right? Regardless, right? And then obviously Tony Adams would also be like the other help, right?
That kind of help, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about CJ Mosley anymore. Last year,
I think he's getting phased out as we speak. I just think it's it's time. I mean, it's time to pass it on to Quincy and Sherwood and these younger guys, and just let them take it from there. Because Mosley, it's funny because I remember Mosley as a good player and the heart and leader of this defense for a while, but I also remember him coming out in the Bane mask on Halloween and us getting our ass kicked.
Yeah.
So my Mosley memories are very 50-50.
My greatest Mosley memory was being at that Jets at Bills opener, and it was his first game, and he looked like the second coming of LT.
And then he got hurt, right?
And he got hurt.
I remember I was at that game too. Yeah.
Helping become the second coming of LT on that. It was a deep ball. And he blocked it. I think he was on the coverage and he stuffed it, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, he's hurt," and that's when
of course, of course, because of course,
nothing. Yeah, of course, Jets.
Yeah. So I mean,
on the next week.
Yeah, but this Cardinals team, man, I mean, they're winning. They're winning the NFC West right now. Over like teams like the 49ers and shit, which is crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, the records are all tight. The records are all tight. I get it, but still, for them to even be, neck and neck with those guys, I mean, it says something.
It does. It does concern me. It did make me feel better that the Packers stomped them. It did.
Yeah.
That was one bet I made the other week. That was pretty good. The Lions game was close, and I think the Lions are the best team in football right now.
Yeah. So I looked into some prediction models, little analytics, ESPN.com analytics matchup predictor, which is allegedly as high as 70 to 75% accurate. And they do over 10,000 simulations per game. They're giving the Jets a 49.3% chance of winning. So basically they're giving the they're giving the slight nod to the Cardinals here. Then there's this other website that uses AI model based and numerous simulations for predictions called dimers.com. And they gave the Jets a 60% win probability. They actually predict this to outright win that game by a significant margin. So, it's.
What does that mean?
I think ultimately it means it's just, even the computers don't really fully know that it's a close enough game that anyone can win it. And the talent's there for both sides to take this game. I think the Jets thing to do would be to win this and then lose to the Colts who are looking terrible. But we'll see how it goes. What do you guys think prediction wise?
Good, Adnan.
Yeah, I like we were talking about before we started the episode. It's just the Jets thing to do will be to beat a really good Texans team, go on the road, beat another division leader, and then lose to the Colts at home. So taking that premise into consideration, I think the Jets win this one because it's just what they do. They've had 10 days to prepare. I think they'll look a little bit fresher. Adams will have another 10 days in the system. Reddick will have another 10 days in the system. So I think they'll look better. And And I think the Jets win, somewhere in there, 21-17, 20-17, something like that. And then hopes get raised.
I think it's higher than that.
And then we walk into a buzzsaw against the Colts.
Pretty much. I've already put my bet on the Jets.
All right. Well, we know what you're thinking.
I took money line because it was plus 100 instead of +1 at minus 110 when I took it, right? It just made sense. But looking at this over-under, I think I'm going to slam the over-under too.
Yeah, I like the over too. I mean, Kyler's going to run all over us. He's going to throw to Marvin Harrison. He's going to throw to wherever and get touchdowns. And I think we are also capable of scoring through the air, and a decent amount. So, maybe something like 20, 28, 24, something like that. Some kind of a high 20s score there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess we could. I mean, if you're going to cook up the parlay, right? Basically, have the over on Kyler Murray's rushing yards, right? That's for sure, right? Probably on James Conner as well. I think maybe some Brees stuff in there, right? Whatever it is, right? Just hope to God it fucking works out. I don't know. I if we lose,
Brees anytime touchdown score.
Brees anytime touchdown score, and I'm totally trying to cook up a fucking parlay right now on the game.
They do it.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to show my parlay history record. It's so bad. Parlays are for suckers, guys.
No, it's the worst.
But they're the most fun. They're the most fun bets.
They're
terrible. Yeah,
83% of the profits the casinos have or the sports books are on those fucking parlays.
Yeah, it's the worst bet you can make. But
because it's hard enough to just guess who's going to win a given game, let alone now you're putting in all these random elements and they all have to hit at the same time. It's just you're betting against yourself.
But it's just so
FanDuel now has the Jets favored.
When interesting when you put a parlay
where the money's going,
when you put a parlay in, you feel like a genius though, right? You're like, look at this, there's no way this isn't gonna hit, and then you lose 4 out of the 6 legs and you're like, wait a second.
Yeah, that's why I like they're doing cash outs for a lot of these.
Yeah
Cash outs are cool.
Cash outs are friendly, but it just sucks. That I wonder if that guy, with who won that Dodgers parlay, basically
better have cashed that shit out.
Yeah, he should cash that shit out.
He better have cashed that out. Yeah, I know he's not sitting around waiting for that. I would not. I definitely would not. Imagine we hit it. Oh God.
I mean, if he hit it, then I hit. My Super Bowl bets finally. Kurt's gonna have to owe me a lot of money because he gave me like crazy odds. After the Niners game, I was like, "Fuck it, I'll take it." And then I felt good after 2 weeks, and then I felt miserable after 5 weeks.
Yeah,
and I felt sort of better after last week. I lose a lot of money betting the Jets.
Yeah, don't bet the Jets. That's kind of not. That's kind of like a rule. Like I wouldn't even take Jets players on my fantasy teams for years and years just because I just couldn't.
Yeah, but now you can't avoid it. Just because Garrett and Brees serve.
Oh yeah, Garrett hooked me up with a nice 30 burger the other day. That was great.
Yeah, I faced 2 of those actually against Garrett Wilson's, and then one guy also had Devontae, and he also had Joe Mixon.
Damn, that's tough. Joe Mixon's good, man. I'm happy for Joe Mixon, man. He leaves Cincinnati and then just goes over and just picks up right where he left off. I like to see that, man. I like to see running backs win, man. I feel like they've been getting a little bit shitted on. They've been kind of kicked to the curb, act like they're not like the top ones aren't that valuable because you can just do RBBC and like have a functional running game with 3, average guys, but it's not the same as having a Saquon or a Mixon or even a Breece Hall or a McCaffrey. Like those guys are definitely not, throwaway guys, even at an advanced age.
Yeah. I want to share that clip of the Jets are going to come back from the King of Staten Island. Can I do that, guys?
Sure.
I think it's just great.
Dude, you're a degenerate gambler. Who bets on the Jets? Have you not learned anything about betting? The Jets are going to come back. No, they're not. They're never going to come back. They're never going to come back.
It's just
I
one
love
of the
that clip.
greatest clips of all time. It's so accurate. And I just
They're never gonna come back. I'm like,
they're not.
it's so true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he really nailed it, because that's like the same tone I would take if I was like arguing with my friend about it. Like, no, like they're never gonna come back. Oh man, that was great.
All right, so I had the Jets winning. Adnan, you said they're gonna win too, right?
Yeah.
Monty,
Yeah.
too.
Oh
Yeah. I think they're
man,
gonna
is
win.
this? Yeah, all right.
But we're all gonna be fucking wrong, and then we're just gonna
Yeah, for sure.
We're
For
gonna
sure.
be like,
Monty, you're usually dissenting opinion.
we're just gonna be like that. Yeah, I'll figure out a different sound.
Yeah, I'm usually kind of the contrarian,
Yeah.
dissenting opinion, but this time I'll go with the flow a little bit, man. It's just
All right, let's do it. I wish they were playing tomorrow instead of an election. That would be much more enjoyable.
Oh God, don't remind me.
No, wait again. The timeline, boys. Timeline.
Rock the
Timeline.
boat.
Timeline. Okay. Final fucking thoughts. Adnan, go.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a tough game, but I don't know. I just feel like they're going to give us hope. It's what they always do. They're going to go in there, they're going to win, and we're going to be like, oh man, 2 in a row, beat 2 division winners back to back, 1 on the road. This team is really good. They beat Kyler and CJ Stroud back to back. Now they have Flacco at home without the pressure of being on prime time. I think they're going to give us that hope, and we'll see how it plays out. I think they'll also do it because I do believe they are the better roster. They are the better team. The Cardinals are really, like John said, banged up on defense, even fully healthy on defense. They aren't that good. So if the Jets can offer some kind of resistance in the Cardinals running game, this is a good matchup for them offensively. So I think it'll be a fun game to watch. A lot of athletes on the field. Everybody can do a lot of different things. So it'll be fun to watch, enjoy it. And I think the Jets come out with a W, two-game winning streak, and then we go from there.
Cool. Yeah, man, it's listen, it's funny to be both positive and negative on the Jets at the same time. I'm still very much down on this franchise and this team. I'm very upset with what they've kind of done to us. I'm very much embittered. I'm very much, kind of like have a chip on my shoulder about how this whole season turned out and was handled. Nothing we can do about it now, but I'm still salty about it. So it's like any given game. This is what's crazy about the Jets, is that they still have one of the most talented rosters in football. They are a roster. That's what the Jets are right now, is a roster of guys. And a roster of guys, if they all decide to show up in the same game, they can really do some shit. And this is a roster that has proven that they can do some shit if they really, show up and are and they don't even need to be firing on all cylinders. I mean, we went over in the last episode, all those like top players like Conklin and Brees and Olu and, Ruckert and these guys who are, we expect them to do great. And they kind of just had lackluster efforts. Like that seems to be the name of the game. We're never like firing fully on all cylinders. The only game where we saw that was the Patriots game. If that team and that level of play can come back, this team is capable of literally beating any team remaining on its schedule. That is a fact. It's not like we're getting outclassed. It's not like we're the Patriots or these other teams that just don't have the talent to measure up with the big boys. Like, we have enough guns. Like, we can battle with anybody in this NFL. But the problem is, will we? The problem is, do we? The problem is, do we get 10 penalties and just blow the game, even though everything else was, going pretty much well? What do we do? Like, how do we play this? Which Jets show up? Will the real New York Jets please stand up? And
they already did.
It's like,
I'm sorry.
It's like which one is it? You know what I mean? Yeah, we've seen a bunch of iterations this year, man. We've seen the absolute best and the absolute worst, and I'm still gonna try to remain positive, but I just don't have high hopes for the season in its entirety. But I think any given game, it's not the worst thing in the world to be positive for it, because we have the ability and the power to be able to win it. So hopefully we just go out there and get that W this week.
That would be cool. I hope the guys that are questionable get healthy for this game. I think they need it. And like I will say is about the stadium. It's Arizona might have the best stadium. It's grass. Although you can argue the Raiders, the Death Star, but basically
that thing is nice.
Yeah, it is nice, but so is that. So where they play, right? So I just want another victory. I really just do. This would be a good victory, right? It'd be one that we can hold our heads up to, right? Yeah, and this is the last game that pretty much will be featured in like a good window, if that makes sense, for watching them on a spotlight, right? Because the rest of the season's 1:00 games, right? Except maybe
as they should
be. Back to the cellar we go, right? But this is the late window because it's a Pacific time game. Let's go back to the cellar where we belong. Let's just eke this one out, right? No more national spotlight. Not until the playoffs. If for God hope that it happens. But
yeah,
I
get you.
Yeah. Anyway, just remember, fuck the Patriots, fuck the Dolphins, fuck the Bills. I throw fuck the Chiefs on there too. I'm just sick of them.
I'm so for that at this point, man. I'm sick of them.
I am a huge fan of the Chiefs.
No,
everything they do is
I hate the dynasties.
I love it, man.
I hate the dynasties that get all the Chiefs. I mean, all the ref love and affection, and like
a lot of
I'm just
teams
sick
get
of
that,
it.
man.
Not like Mahomes and these Chiefs.
I don't know. The Patriots got it too, man. When you're a good,
I know
team,
they did. When you're the top team, you get that shit.
Right,
I don't
exactly.
Like that. That's why I don't like them now. I liked them before that.
Yeah, but you know what? If the Jets were that team and getting all the calls, you'd love it. Right?
Of course, that's the Jets. I'm not a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. I'm saying that that's not going to go away because
I'm a fan. It is completely logical in my brain for me to hate that and love it for the Jets.
The only time it sucks is when the Chiefs play the Jets. Outside of that, who cares?
I care. Fuck them. Listen, people. Last week, we won because I brought the swag to the fucking game. That means you have to buy it. And Monty, that night, you still need to get your fucking swag. Jesus.
Like, comment, subscribe, buy the swag.
Buy the swag.
Laugh Through the Turbulence swag is now live and ready to make you look as good as Aaron Rodgers throwing a deep ball. Click in the bio to find out where to buy it. Get yours today and rep the green and white in style. And remember, wearing this swag doesn't make you look awesome. Actually, it increases our odds of the Jets winning. Well, maybe not, but it can't hurt to say that, right? Made probably from the finest child sweatshops from around the world that we do not endorse but still appreciate. Buy our swag today. We're giving you free content. Now it's time to empty your pockets and buy the stuff you don't need. Don't have a job? Well, you've got a kidney, right? Sell it and buy our swag. See if that's this old lady with a purse? Take her purse and pawn it and use the money to buy our swag. Got some money tucked away for your kid's college fund? Empty the account and buy our swag because your kid is just going to waste that money on a gender studies major anyway. Buy our fucking swag, dude!